Are the Arizona Cardinals in the market to bring in a veteran cornerback? If so, are we going to be getting him through free agency or through a trade? What's going on, Arizona sports fan family? Appreciate you guys for stopping by. Definitely do me one huge favor, smack that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. We are on the road to 10K, and I can't do it without you guys. Definitely go ahead and subscribe. It's absolutely free. Let's dive right into it, right? One of the biggest needs for the Arizona Cardinals so far is still the cornerback position. Now, as of right now, the confidence level from the fans for our cornerbacks isn't very high. We got Byron Murphy in the slot, and then we have Marco Wilson coming into his second year. Now, we don't really have the confidence in what Cliff Kingsbury said about Marco Wilson, being that he's not an automatic shoo-in, but he still has to fight for a position. So that's a little concerning that we only have one really reliable cornerback. Now, we did actually make a move today. We ended up signing Cortez Davis. Now, this was on Tuesday, and we ended up releasing Nate Brooks. Now, forgive me here, Cortez Davis, but what the heck are we doing, Arizona Cardinals? Right now, we have like $17 million in cap space with all the, extensions that we did. We ended up opening up some more cap space. Why aren't we going for veteran cornerbacks as of right now through free agency is absolutely baffling to me. I just honestly don't get it. Now, we did get a lead here from one of the sports writers from our local radio station, 98.7. We ended up getting a kind of a conversation in the Twitter world. Now, we do have my guy, big shout out to my guy here, K1 since day one. He ended up asking him, he says, are the Cardinals looking for a trade for a cornerback? And John says, yes. Now, obviously, we are asking a little bit deeper. Is there any names floated around? Or maybe do we at least know the level of corner that we are targeting? A decent starting corner or an upper echelon starting corner? And then he says, just that it's very likely to come from a trade, not free agency. We can get a better player that way. Now, that absolutely makes sense, right? The people that are available in free agency right now, they most likely aren't going to be to par to if we did get a trade from a different team. Now, when you start thinking about different teams out there, you really start thinking about the teams that are not going to really contend this year, but they have really good talent, but just their roster in general, there's no good pieces like all around. So It got me to believe that, okay, if this is the route the Arizona Cardinals decide to take, then hey, I'm all game for it, right? I know we still have other pieces that we can go ahead and, fill for this roster, but if the Cardinals are trying to go all in a cornerback and trying to trade for one, $17 million in cap space is probably going to be enough at least for this year. Now, let's take a look at a few different, players that I kind of had in mind looking at those specific teams that might not be in contention for really anything and probably are in rebuild mode. Now, one player that kind of, stood out to me specifically was a player from Atlanta Falcons. Now, his name is AJ Terrell. He did just get, drafted not too long ago. He's still 23 years old. An opportunity for the Arizona Cardinals to maybe poach a young cornerback from that team? Yes, possibly. Now, are they going to get rid of him? I don't think they will, just because they just drafted him not too long ago. But man, that would be an awesome target if the Arizona Cardinals did decide to get somebody like AJ Terrell. Now, another player that kind of stood out to me specifically was Greedy Williams. Now, he is a cornerback from the Cleveland Browns as of right now, but it honestly kind of seems with Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome that it kind of seems like a kind of a crowded cornerback position as of right now. Maybe Greedy will not really get the opportunity. I feel like Greedy Williams would be an awesome asset for the Arizona Cardinals to try to poach. Now, specifically, I don't think he's going to be very expensive in terms of draft capital because he's probably seen to be a little bit lower in the depth chart compared to Denzel Ward or Greg Newsome from the Cleveland Browns. Now, Greedy Williams stands 6'2". He's still just 24 years old. Not bad at all. He was, highly recruited. I believe he got picked up in the second round out of LSU. And you know how we like our LSU players here, Honey Badger, P2. So, hey, any opportunity to bring another LSU alumni into this roster, I would be gung-ho for it. Now, another player that obviously is probably seemed to be more of a reach more than anything. And people have been talking about this player for years now. Whenever we deal with the Arizona Cardinals or talk about building our cornerbacks, everybody brings this name up all the time, and that is none other than Marshon Lattimore, cornerback from the Saints. Now, he is probably going to be the least likely. I believe he did sign a extension with the Saints as well, but we might have the cap space now. Maybe, obviously the Rams do some sort of trickery and wizardry to get everything under the cap. If Michael Bidwell is willing to spend some money, that would be an amazing asset for the Arizona Cardinals to acquire. Marshon Lattimore would be absolutely amazing. Because after Patrick Peterson, let's be honest, I don't think we've had a reliable cornerback that we can say that's our shutdown cornerback. We don't have that. Now, obviously, Patrick Peterson in his later years, he kind of slowed down, and it makes sense, right? Father Time gets the best out of everybody, except for Tom Brady. But for the most part, Byron Murphy isn't going to be our outside corner. He's a slot corner. We're all hoping and praying that Marco Wilson is going to develop to be that guy that we all want him to be. But right now, we do not have that cornerback that's going to say, yes, he is going to be the guy that's going to lock down that number one wide receiver. We don't have it. And being that we have like $17 million in cap space, it's absolutely baffling to me that we're bringing people like Cortez Davis in. It just makes no sense to me at all. So let me know what you guys think about this Bird game. Well, how are you feeling about the cornerback room for the Arizona Cardinals? Do you think we're going to pick up somebody in free agency? Or do you think that we're going to pick up somebody come, in the trade market? Let me know everything in the comments below. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great rest of your day and go Cards.